So we're going to start with MVP, right? So we're going to give you one based on how the league awards its league MVP, and then one based on how we would award the MVP, which is the most valuable player, right? You take that player off that team, how is that team doing? You know what I mean? The most value in a player.
Most likely they're going to drop.
So let's go with MVP. So what you see here is Justin Herbert. That would be my pick for how the league awards it. Best statistical player, usually the most, they display some of the most talent in the league, right?
Yes.
Like Rodgers, yeah, they were the 1 seed, got knocked out in the playoffs, but he throws a beautiful ball, right? And he had the stats to back it up. He looked good doing it. That's why he was MVP. Justin Herbert, again, 6'5", big, mobile, certainly valuable. But honorable mention, I would say Patrick Mahomes would be the most valuable player. So our pick is Justin Herbert because that's how the league awards its MVPs. But I don't think Pat Mahomes is a terrible choice, considering that if you take him off that roster,
it kind of goes really south.
They're probably the worst team in that division.
100%.
They're probably under 500.
Yeah, he is so good that he keeps that team top of the division and competing for a playoff spot.
And not that they don't have talent, but he's that good. And
well,
so
I mean, take it back to pre-Patrick Mahomes. Well, what were the Chiefs?
They were about 9-8 sneaking into the playoffs. Well, they were back then. It was like 9-7 sneaking into the playoffs
and battling in almost every game.
Right.
Now it's you see the Chiefs against I'd say 70% of the league. That's Kansas City.
Yep.
And you look at the
line is
like Vegas knows it
minus
too.
-5.5.
I mean,
which is crazy.
And you don't bet against. I mean, Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid in September, October. They don't lose.
They just don't lose. Okay, offensive player of the year. Let's go with Devontae Adams. First of all, I think him reuniting with his, former quarterback. People are saying, it's not Aaron throwing him the ball, so who? Let's see. Derek Carr is a really, really good quarterback. Is he Rodgers? No. But have they played together before? Yes. Is the familiarity going to be there? Yes. And I think those two, after having developed and then their paths cross again, I think they're going to be insane.
Yeah.
I think he's going to go for 1,700 yards, 16 touchdowns. I think it's going to be one of the best seasons as a wide receiver that we've ever seen.
Yeah. I mean, on this show already today, I've talked about how a quarterback can elevate his receivers. Well, in this instance, I almost feel a little bit the opposite way, too, where Devontae Adams is so good. He's going to be able to elevate Derek Carr because he's going to get open by 5 to 10 more yards than Derek Carr's used to throwing to.
He's got the best footwork in the league.
He's going to be wide open a lot, and that's going to make life easy for Derek Carr. And he's an NFL quarterback at minimum, is going to be able to get him the ball. Devontae Adams makes so much sense at that offensive player spot.
I agree. Let's go with defensive player of the year. I think Khalil Mack, and I think here's a reason why. I said it when we were going over the divisions. The Chargers are going to lead in a lot of football games, right? Which means other teams are going to be having to throw the football a lot.
A ton.
That's a lot of opportunity for Khalil Mack to get to the quarterback, and also now that he's opposite Bosa is going to be insane. And here's the thing. He's more talented probably than Joey Bosa, and so out of the two, I think he's going to get more sacks. I mean, you could look up, he'll probably have about 18 sacks, and he's a really good run stopper as well. And he punched out the football, up there with T.J. Watt as best in the league. So I think defensive player of the year. Plus, not that this isn't a good division defensively, but I mean, it's not super strong. I mean, good defense in Denver, but it's more of a team defense.
Yeah. Kansas
City is not a great defense. Chris Jones, their best player, he's good, not special. He's probably more of a B+ defensive lineman. And what do they have in Vegas? I almost said Oakland. Chandler Jones is good, but he's not Khalil Mack.
No.
He's not Khalil Mack.
And I think the value on an edge rusher like that, especially in this division against this caliber of quarterbacks, you have to make them uncomfortable. These guys are, if these guys are comfortable, if Russell Wilson's comfortable and he doesn't have to scramble around, if Patrick Mahomes doesn't have to move a little bit, if Derek Carr can be a statue and throw from the pocket, it's going to get ugly. Yeah. And it's going to get really ugly, especially in these divisional games. So having somebody to go get that passer is of the utmost importance, especially when you live in the AFC West.
I agree. All right, breakout player. Let's go with Patrick Surtain. I think he's actually Patrick Surtain Jr. or the second or the third, whatever. The DB from Denver. I think he had a pretty good rookie season. I think he's going to be fantastic. He was one of the more technically sound corners that we've seen in the last 5-ish years. And I think as he continues to grow into his body, keep maturing, I think he's going to be a really, really good DB. Long arms, athletic, got some speed, had a pick 6 last year. I think you could look up and he could quietly be in the top 5 in picks.
Yep.
He's going to be their best corner. We'll go Pat Surtain for Breakout Player of the Year. Any arguments there?
No, I mean, that's going to be a really tough position to play, and I think value there, especially in division with these guys like we just talked about. I mean, you got guys with cannons that are going to be thrown over your head all day.
And good wide receivers, too.
Oh, really good wide receivers to match up against. So it'll be interesting. I do like him for the breakout.
I do worry with him on Devontae Adams twice a year, but we'll see. They'll probably bracket him, I would guess. All right, Coach of the Year, I think I'd be lying to you, and we would be unjust in saying that any other coach is better than Andy Reid in this division.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, so, I mean, look around. You have 2 rookie head coaches and a second-year head coach who made some questionable decisions, Brandon Staley. Right? It's weird. We have a lot of really good rosters in this division. Only one, like, true, bona fide, really, really good head coach, Andy Reid. Right. Brandon Staley, we like him.
Yeah.
But he made some really bad decisions.
Really gutsy.
Really gutsy.
Go for it type of guy. I mean,
a lot of them didn't pay off. And I don't mind the gutsiness, but at the end of the day, they got to pay off.
Yeah. You can't be making stupid decisions and throwing that type of thing away, especially when you have points that you can take. When you can take a field goal and take 3 points in the NFL, most of the times you do. Most games end with a 3 to 4 point differential anyway, so you try to get them when you can.
Right, and people are like, oh, it's one decision here or there. Like, it's a coin flip. Like, if it goes right, he's a hero. If it goes wrong, he's not. It's like,
right, but when there's a slew.
But yeah, well, yes, but it's also like, I mean, yeah, they're big boy decisions. That's why he's a big boy NFL head coach making big boy money. Like, those are the decisions that at the end of the day they have to pay off. We can sit here and be like, oh, we appreciate the aggressiveness. At the end of the day, they either pay off or they don't. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're either making decisions to win and they're leading to wins, or they're not.
No, I 100%
the NFL isn't like, oh, but he had a good heart doing it. Like, he had great intentions to be aggressive. No, you end up winning the game or you don't win the game. Period. End of story. That was way too good of a roster to miss the playoffs.
Oh, 100%.
We got sidetracked there for a second, though.